Welcome to RPTV Weekly News Show. My name is Fred Alvarado and my co-hosts are Murphy Brown, Javin Hawk, Jessica Butu, and Margaret Jurai. We present news that impacts on Regent Park and the surrounding areas.
In this episode, we present the following news for the week of December 17 to December 24th.
Police arrest 2 in killing of Regent Park, mentor Thane Murray. 3rd man wanted.
Toronto Community Housing celebrates the official opening of the Centre for Advancing the Interests of Black People. Ryerson University renaming to be guided by Opinion Survey and Campus Committee.
The SDP Planning Committee begins the development of a work plan for 2022. The December 13th Executive Director Network finalizes their terms of reference.
RPTV News visits the Women's Martial Arts Program. Culture Bazaar Holiday Market took place at Daniel Spectrum.
COVID-19 and vaccination update. Ontario will offer COVID-19 booster shots to everyone 18 and older starting Monday.
Events and jobs in Regent Park community.
Police arrest 2 in killing of Regent Park mentor, Thane Murray. 3rd man wanted. 2 men have been arrested for first-degree murder, and a 3rd is wanted by police in the fatal shooting of Thane Murray, a Regent Park mentor gunned down in a hail of bullets early on a warm September night. The September 18 shooting near Oak and Sumac Streets was described as disturbing by police, in part due to sheer number of bullets fired. Investigators found more than 50 shell casings on the scene, and police also reviewed a surveillance video posted on social media that appeared to capture what sounded like dozens of gunshots in less than 20 seconds. On Monday and Tuesday, Toronto police arrested Noah Anderson, 20, and Junior Jamal Harvey, 20, and charged them with 1 count each of first-degree murder. Both men also faced 2 counts each of attempted murder stemming from injuries caused to 2 other young men. Police also issued an arrest warrant for a 3rd man wanted for the same charges. Javril Elmi, 27, of Toronto, is described as 5'7", 180 pounds with a stocky build.
This is a senseless murder, and these 2 men who were arrested, they are Noah Anderson, who's 20. He is a member of the Toronto community. He is from Toronto. And Junior Jamal Harvey, he's 20 years old as well, and he is of Toronto. So they've been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. It is senseless death. Part of why it happened is part of the investigation, so I can't speak to that right now. But they are also charged with 2 counts of attempt murder as well. Now, those men have attended court this week, and we also would like to advise members of the community that there is one more man, a 3rd man, who is wanted right now for first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempt murder. There is a Canada-wide warrant for this man's arrest. His name is Javril Elmi. He's 27 years old, of Toronto. And our investigators right now, they're just making an appeal to anyone who knows of Jabril's whereabouts to please contact police. He is considered armed and dangerous, and we are asking members of the public, if you do know where he is or you do see him, to please call 911. Jabril, if he is seeing this and he now knows that he is wanted, we are urging you to contact a lawyer and contact police.
The detective leading the investigation declined to comment on the case Wednesday. But police say shortly after the shooting that there was nothing to suggest that Murray or the 2 other young men who were shot were specifically targeted. It looks like the shooters showed up in this area looking for anyone that might be in the area, as disturbing as that sounds, Toronto Police Department Sergeant Terry Brown told in September. The shooting left many in Regent Park community feeling terrorized by violence and reeling from the loss of a cherished community leader, Thane Murray, who worked in recreation programs across the city and was a familiar face in Regent Park, where he bonded with youth at after-school programs and served as a mentor and friend to many.
Toronto Community Housing celebrates the official opening of the Centre for Advancing the Interests of Black People. On December 2nd, 2021, Toronto Community Housing Corporation, the TCHC, reaffirmed its commitment to confronting anti-Black racism in the workplace and its communities through the launch of the Centre for Advancing the Interests of Black People, the Centre. The launch of the Centre marks the achievement of a key milestone in TCHC's Confronting Anti-Black Racism, CABR, strategy, and is one of the responses to address anti-Black racism at TCHC. The Centre will create a space for conversations about race and anti-Black racism and drive innovative responses and remedies that confront anti-Black racism and all forms of discrimination and prejudice. The goals of the Centre include lead the implementation of the CABR strategy and its 8-point plan, collaborate with other TCHC teams to implement divisional action plans to help support the advancement of the CABR strategy over the next 3 years, guide the changes that will help to dismantle anti-Black racism in TCHC's policies, procedures, and operations. Engage with the newly established Tenant Staff Oversight and Advisory Board to ensure accountability, transparency, and implementation of the CABR strategy. Provide semi-annual reports about the CABR strategy to the TCHC Board of Directors. Set to be supported by 15 full-time staff, the Centre is designed to create positive outcomes for Black tenants and staff by identifying and confronting anti-Black racism embedded within the organization.
Hello, Mayor John Tory here, and it's a great pleasure for me to share a few words with you as you launch the Centre of Advancing the Interests of Black People. I'd like to share my appreciation with our own Confronting Anti-Black Racism unit within the City of Toronto government, because they've been relentlessly dedicated and steadfast committed to embedding anti-Black racism analysis into TCHC's culture and operations. Like the City of Toronto itself, Toronto Community Housing is committed to confronting anti-Black racism. And this will impact communities right across Toronto, putting the very tenets and the mission of CABR's work into action, better meeting the needs of Black tenants and staff. The Centre has already had an immensely positive impact, including supporting the resolution of tenant conflicts grounded in anti-Black racism, developing policies to better protect BIPOC residents, and sourcing new employee counseling resources that can better understand the needs of our Black communities. I'm also pleased to hear that the Centre has established a tenant staff oversight and advisory board, and that will drive accountability and assist in guiding the implementation of the CABR strategy. So, we're not just setting up infrastructure, we're going to be engaging tenants and staff and stakeholders to continue to advance this strategy. Because we know, without a doubt, we must do a full appraisal in order to incite real and meaningful and lasting change. We've got to uncover the very systems that allow anti-Black racism to become entrenched in the first place if we want to be able to truly deconstruct them. I'm so glad that this work is underway and that it's in such capable and dedicated hands. This work will help TCHC become a better housing provider, addressing the systemic barriers to quality service for all tenants. So for that, thank you for your commitment to this crucial work. You have my word. I will continue to be an ally and staunch supporter of your efforts. And I look forward to hearing more about this program and the meaningful changes it will yield in our city services, and by extension, the benefits that will flow to many, many Torontonians at large. Thank you for all that you do.
Ryerson University renaming to be guided by opinion survey and campus committee. Ex-University, formerly Ryerson University, will not hold a public discussion about possible options for its renaming. Instead, Ex-University will be guided primarily by a survey of public opinion and the recommendations of a committee. Last month, a survey was sent to students and staff to gather input on a new name for the institution. More than 20,000 responses were submitted over a 3-week period via the university's website. The university said it was pleased with the number of responses, even though it represents only about half the number of students, staff, and other community members connected to the university. The data from the survey will now be analyzed by research firm the Strategic Council and then given to a 15-person committee selected by the university. The committee will then generate a short list of approximately 3 to 5 names for University President Mohamed Lakemi. Dr. Lakemi will select a name from the shortlist and bring his recommendation before a meeting of the university's Board of Governors for approval. The new name is expected to be confirmed by the board before the end of the academic year in April. The university announced in August that it would change its name after protests that linked its namesake, Egerton Ryerson, with the design of the residential school system in Canada.
The SDP Planning Committee begins the development of a work plan for 2022. The Social Development Plan is a community-wide initiative designed to build social cohesion and inclusion among all the groups and residents in Regent Park. The aim of the SDP Planning Committee is to set the agenda of the SDP Stakeholders Table, which is the decision-making body of the SDP, as well as to coordinate all the activities of the working committees involved in the Social Development Plan. The December 9th meeting of the Stakeholders Planning Committee was facilitated by Lindsay Jackson, a city staff assigned to support the Social Development Plan. The SDP planning meeting began with a review of the past SDP Stakeholders Table that was held on December 7th, 2021. Members offered their opinions as to what went well and what could be done better. Following the review, Lindsay reported on her upcoming presentation to the Executive Directors Network, asking for staff support for the SDP working committees. Ismail Afra, the TCHC resident co-chair, volunteered to co-present with Lindsay. In the next agenda item, Ismail Afra informed the members of an opportunity to obtain a University of Toronto internship specializing in data information. Ismail feels that data collection would be of value to the SDP, especially for the Employment and Economic Committee, as well as other committees. The group agreed that Ismail would take the lead in the application process. For some time, various members have voiced the need for an SDP planning table to develop a work plan that would guide and help the group better organize the many activities and tasks of the SDP. With 20 minutes left in the meeting, Lindsay presented a document outlining the various activities that the SDP has committed to in 2022. The group began the process of reviewing the activities and populating the document with their work. Inez Garcia, a resident member of the Safety Committee, reported that the Safety Committee will be continuing their work in providing workshops to the community. As the meeting winded down, Lindsay indicated that the work plan will be on the agenda in the next meeting. Towards the end of the meeting, Inez and Joel Klassen, an agency member from YSM, informed the group that early in 2022, they will be losing 3 youth outreach workers in the community due to the end of funding. Joel indicated that the youth workers are doing their best to transition the youth they are working with to other youth workers and groups in the community. The following December 16th meeting of the SDP Planning Committee was focused on the continued development of the work plan.
The December 13 Executive Director Network finalizes their terms of reference. The Executive Directors Network, also known as the ED Network, is composed of executive directors and senior decision makers of community organizations that serve the Regent Park community. The network meets monthly. The December meeting of the ED Network took place over Zoom on Monday, December 13, 2021. The meeting was facilitated by James Nason, the current chair of the network. The meeting began with an insightful look at land acknowledgements led by Janine Stone of Neighborhood Legal Services. The first item of business was an update on COVID and vaccination. This was an opportunity for the various executive directors to share their vaccine policies and challenges related to their agencies. Next item on the agenda was an information update provided by Adonis Huggins of the Focus Media Arts Center related to Regent Park TV's communications about the ED network. Adonis indicated that he intends to regularly provide an update of the ED network meetings in the Regent Park Weekly News.
As you know, and I hope all of you have been following Regent Park TV news. I try to get it out to everybody in the last couple episodes, but we are now on episode 14 of these news. And basically, what we're trying to do is report on all the groups and as much as we can, activities that happen in Regent Park in a very news formatted way in terms of maybe a 35 to 45 minute newscast. So it comes out every weekly. And again, it's highlighting some of the important groups that are meeting and what they meet about. And the whole object is so that groups could get to know each other, know what groups, what each other are doing, and what happens in the meetings, particularly in the SDP meetings.
After a brief discussion about the contents that will be reported on, the group moved to the next item, which was an update by Greg Gary about meetings that a subgroup of EDs are having with both TCHC and RPNA related to the community benefits. The next item of the agenda was the review of the ED Network's revised terms of reference. The terms of reference guides the work of the ED Network. Last July, a subcommittee of the ED Network undertook the work of reviewing and updating the terms of reference. The subcommittee was led by Jenny Stone of Neighborhood Legal Services. Jenny presented the revised terms of reference to the group and reported that almost all the changes to the terms of reference were related to simplifying and reorganizing the document. After the review, Jenny and the group agreed that the document still needed a bit more clarity related to the ED's network relationship to the social development plan. It was agreed that Adonis Huggins and Denise Udian O'Leary would work together to include clearer language. The ED network often has guests. The first guest for today's meeting was Lindsay Jackson, a City of Toronto staff who assists in supporting the SDP, and Ismail Afra, the TCHC co-chaired of the SDP Stakeholders Table. Lindsay and Ismail's presentation revolved around a request to ED network agencies to provide resource staff to support the working committees of the SDP. One of the concerns among the table was the 20-hour-month staffing commitment that Lindsay was asking for, especially when so many of our organizational staff are already overburdened with work. Rather than an add-on, Ismail and Lindsay encouraged the executive directors to look at opportunities to integrate the work of the agencies into the work of the SDP. The last half hour of the meeting was a presentation led by the TCHC and Tridel Revi team on the Phase 4 and 5 of the Regent Park revitalization rezoning process.
That are the reason that we are pursuing a rezoning or a zoning bylaw amendment application for phases 4 and 5. And that's to build more affordable housing, to create high quality homes, and to create more community spaces and amenities, which include a new library and more open spaces. And if you just go to the next slide, but one more, yeah, you can see here phases 4 and 5 are the yellow and red areas at the top of the screen, and then 1, 2, and 3 are the areas below in the purple, green, and blue, and a little bit of phase 3 to the west of phase 4 as well. So when I say, you know, we want to look at the rezoning of phases 4 and 5 to add more affordable housing, community space, open space, etc. It's within these yellow and red areas that we want to look at that. And on the next slide, we just show you how that process comes together. So the red is the we are here. You can see right beside it the application submission. And then there's this whole cycle of other things that happen with the city. The city will review the materials that have been submitted. We'll get comments back from them. We'll review those comments and look at how we can respond to them in an updated plan, and a cycle continues with the city. At the same time, we're working through community engagement and input throughout that cycle with the city. So a plan that goes in as the initial application is something that we communicate with the city about, but we're also continuing to engage and get input from the community and other stakeholders and agencies throughout the process, leading up to multiple cycles of review and comment and input, getting us to community council, and then a decision at city council. And that's the process that takes the 12 to 24 months because we have multiple steps in that cycle.
And we continue with Javin Hawk on a report on RPTV News visits the Women's Martial Arts Program.
RPTV News visits the Women's Martial Arts Program. The final session of the Women's Martial Arts Program took place on Saturday, December 18th. The 5-week program, Self-Defense Training Program, was sponsored by the Youth Empower Youth in collaboration with the Toronto Kiwanis Boys and Girls Club and the Ontario Taekwondo Federation.
So the kick that Sarah's going to be doing today is what we call a spin kick, which is a turning 180 kick to the head. That's usually we use the heel of the foot, and she's going to be breaking this board. It's made out of wood, and she's going to be spinning, hitting it, and breaking it. So we will demonstrate that for you guys.
Regent Park TV reporters were on hand to hear what this training was all about and to talk to participants of the free program.
So my name is Ryerson. I'm one of the youth that work with YEY, which is Youth Empower Youth, and we're providing females the opportunity to have a martial arts program. We're currently in the K Club gym.
My name is Fatiha. I'm also a Youth Empower Youth participant, and I'm also participating here for the Women's Martial Arts. It's been really great. I've been actually really excited for this to start, and it started because we had youth researchers who conducted a survey in order to kind of assess the needs of like what the youth in the community want to see. And martial arts, it was like really popular. We had 40 youth vote for it. And so we were really excited to have it going.
It's been amazing so far. I wouldn't say I'm an active person, so coming here every Saturday really feels very empowering and energetic, and I really get to use my energy to the fullest, especially through kicking and hitting. I've enjoyed it a lot.
So my name is Miriam Eunice, and I'm a 4-time Taekwondo black belt, and I'm a 3-time national champion, and I've had this opportunity over the past few weeks to be a part of this program where we teach Taekwondo to female youth in the community. And we've been coming in weekly on the weekends, and we've been providing training along with my sister and I to around 15 to 20 female youth within the community here in Toronto.
I'm Sarah Eunice. I am a 4th level black belt. I'm on the Canadian National Taekwondo team, and pretty much we've been coming here to teach young girls and youth self-defense. We've created this program for a safe space for young girls to be able to learn self-defense. Not only that, but to also make them feel confident in themselves.
Cultural Bazaar Holiday Market took place at Thane Spectrum. On December 17th, the Regent Park community enjoyed the Cultural Bazaar Holiday Market, which took place indoors at Thane Spectrum from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. The event was organized by Mothers of Peace and the youth and grassroots of Regent Park. The event was completely free. There were arts and crafts, jewelry, multicultural food and desserts, hot and cold beverages, and music. And now we continue with Jessica Butu with an update on COVID-19 and vaccination.
COVID-19 and vaccination update. Ontario will offer COVID-19 booster shots to everyone 18 and older starting Monday, December 20th. Ontario is expanding eligibility for COVID-19 booster shots to anyone 18 and older starting Monday and is limiting capacity in some indoor spaces as cases of the Omicron variant surge in the province. The government also announced it's shortening the required interval between a person's second dose and booster shot from 6 months down to 3 months. The government said pharmacies may also provide boosters starting December 17th for walk-ins. COVID-19 rapid tests will also be available to the residents free of charge at pop-up testing sites located at high-traffic public areas, as well as at LCBO retail locations, effective immediately.
Everyone has a role to play in the next phase of our provincial COVID response. It's all hands on deck. And it starts with booster shots. Nothing matters more than getting these third shots into arms. To that effect, we're urgently expanding eligibility. As of Monday, everyone 18 years of old and older will be eligible to get their booster shot 3 months after their second dose.
There is an urgent need to help curb transmission so we can get as many vaccines into arms as possible, ensuring our hospital capacity is preserved. To further strengthen Ontario's response to Omicron and limit opportunities for transmission, the province is applying a 50% capacity limit in indoor public settings, such as restaurants, bars, gyms, pharmacies, grocery stores, shopping malls, and personal care services. To further reduce mobility and social contacts, additional protection measures are being introduced, including prohibit food or drink service in specific settings, such as sporting events, concert venues, theaters and cinemas, casinos, bingo halls, and other gaming establishments and racing tracks. We will limit the number of people that can sit together to 10 per table in restaurants and meeting or event spaces. It would also require patrons to remain seated Patrons must also remain seated at concert venues, theaters, and cinemas. Prohibit dancing and singing except for workers or performers. Require restaurants, bars, and other food or drink establishments and meeting and event spaces and strip clubs that serve food and drink like a restaurant to close at 11 p.m. except for takeout and delivery. And restrict the sale of alcohol after 10 p.m. and consumption of alcohol in business or settings after 11 p.m. And finally, for informal social gatherings, there will be a limit of 10 people indoors and 25 people outdoors. These measures come into effect on Sunday, December 19th, 2021 at 12:01 a.m.
And now we go to Jevon Hawk with events in Regent Park community.
And for our last segment on jobs in the community, we have Margaret Duray.
Thank you. Now for upcoming events in Regent Park. There are 2 ongoing vaccination clinics for children ages 5 to 11 in Regent Park and in St. Jamestown as well. The Children's Clinic in Regent Park is run by the Regent Park Community Health Center and will take place on Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at 40 Oak Street. The St. Jamestown Children's Vaccination Pop-Up Clinic will run Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Wellesley Community Center at 495 Sherburne Street. You must make an appointment prior to attending the clinic, and it is open to residents with the following postal codes: M5A, M5B, M4X, and M4Y. For more information and to book an appointment, visit regentparkchc.org/COVID-19 vaccine clinic or stjamestown.org. If you have any questions or concerns about the vaccine or vaccination for children, you can talk to doctors and experts in over 200 languages through VaxFax. You can book online to talk to a doctor about your concerns at www.shn.ca/VaxFax or call 416-438-2911 extension 5738. Every Wednesday in Regent Park, pop-up COVID-19 testing clinic will be available. It began to run this past Wednesday, December 1st. The testing clinic is open from 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. every Wednesday and is operated by the Regent Park Community Health Center out of 40 Oak Street. The testing site is open for individuals who have COVID-19 symptoms or are exposed to someone with a positive COVID-19 test. People with no immigration status and no fixed address are welcome. No questions asked. Bring your OPIC card if you have one. Bring your OHIP card if you have one, but it is not required. Appointments are preferred, but walk-ins will be accommodated if possible. To book or for any questions, please contact the Regent Park Community Center by phone at 416-364-2261 or contact Shraddha Pandey at 416-364-3030 extension 2277 or by email at shraddhap@regentparkchc.org. Healing as One in partnership with the City of Toronto is organizing Girls and Boys Drop-In Basketball Nights. Girls drop-ins are running on Mondays while boys drop-ins are on Saturdays. Both are ongoing and run from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Regent Park Community Center at 402 Shooter Street. That was all for events in Regent Park. Hope to see you there and have a great holiday.
Thank you. Now for the jobs in Regent Park community. Do you have talent? Open call. Focus Media Arts Center, in partnership with the SDP Planning Committee, is starting a database of residents who have talent and who are interested in performing for the community. Performers can include music groups, singers, dancers, poets, and stand-up comedians. Performers will be paid. Send a brief artist bio to info@focusmediaarts.ca. Hockey Coach Education Program for BIPOC Youth 16 to 29. MLSE Foundation and Scotiabank are launching the Hockey Coach Education Program to provide equitable opportunities for Black, Indigenous, and other racialized youth across Ontario to obtain hockey coaching certifications, connect them to coaching positions in their community. This program is looking to change the game and make hockey a more inclusive, diverse, and accessible sport for players and coaches alike. The aim is to improve representation in leadership positions to inspire a diverse generation of youth to engage in hockey. Full information along with the registration page can be found in the website below. Deadline for registration is December 31st. For other opportunities with MLSE, please visit careers.smartrecruiters.com/MLSE3. RPCHC. The Regent Park Community Health Center is looking for an executive assistant to provide administrative, logistical, project management, and event support at their executive office. Deadline to apply is December 29th. They have an opening for a program manager for their committee for Accessible Age Treatment Steering Committee, as well as a position for the registered nurse as a project coordinator for their Blue Door project. The deadlines to apply for these two jobs are January 5th and January 10th, respectively. For more information on these positions and on how to apply, please visit regentparkchc.org/careers. Employment Services for Youth. Jobs for Youth is hosting a free 16-week employment training program for youth 15 to 30 years. Next cohort starting on January 31. Participants will gain training on soft skills, one-on-one coaching, and employment support, and gain work experience through 8 weeks of paid work after completion of the online training. At completion of the 16-week program, participants will receive a $250 bonus. Registration is now open. Register at jobsforyou.ca/registration. For more information, please email jobsforyou@regentparkchc.org.
And that's all for today's show. My name is Fred Alvarado, and my co-hosts are Murphy Brown, Jessica Butu, Margaret Ray, and Javin Hawk. We also like to thank our team of researchers that contributed for this week's show. And from our studios at Focus Media Arts Center, thanks for watching and happy holidays.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out all of our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.